Hey, what's up, guys? It's George. And in this video, I want to talk about time management and how to really maximize your time. Because I get people who ask me, they'll say, how are you able to fit it all in and do so much? Just last night, I was on a coaching call, and my client said, he said, how do you do it all? You're a single dad. You run, multiple growing businesses, successful businesses. You coach people. You're an athlete. You compete in different things. You're a gardener, and you got so much going on. He's like, I can barely, keep up with it just trying to manage and grow one business without even kids. And so, he was blown away how I was able to do it all. And it's funny, I get people that ask me this, and when people ask me this, I always have a hard time answering it because, to me, it's like I just do it. I'm just a producer. I'm used to just getting things done. But I started thinking about it today, and I was going on my run, and as I was running, it came to me, and I thought of it, and I was like, And so I wanted to share some, two real key points in time management that I've found to be really helpful for me. And so the first one is about calendaring everything. I'm huge with the calendar. I use Google Calendar, but I calendar everything in my life. I do have multiple businesses, and all the other obligations. I'm a single parent, shared custody, and I have a lot of other things going on in my life, and so I have to be organized so I don't slip up. And so I'm huge with the calendar. I calendar everything. All of my appointments, I calendar in my workouts, so I put into my calendar events for my daily exercise routine, when I'm going to put it in. I put in there exactly, when I'm going to be spending time with family, even friends. I make appointments. If I'm hanging out with friends, I put it in my calendar as if it's in an appointment. And I do that with everything in my life. I calendar it. And what I do is I do a daily review, a weekly review, and a monthly review, and also a quarterly review as well, and an annual review. But every single evening, I review the day, and then I think about the day coming forward, and I put in everything in my calendar. When that I think I'll be able to all fit it in, all my calls, everything I got to do, my workouts. And then the next morning, I briefly review the calendar again, maybe make some adjustments if necessary. I'm going to move the workout to this time. I move different things around when I'm going to do my gardening, free leisure time, whatever. I put everything in there. And then I abide by the calendar. That is my mission, to abide by the calendar. And this moves into the second golden nugget, which is I've learned to be, and I've become very effective and good at the art of saying no. I've gotten very good at saying no to like 95% of what gets thrown onto my desk. And I actually learned this from one of my business mentors years ago. Remember I said, what would be one of the keys, one of your keys to success, something you would teach, to a young, aspiring entrepreneur such as myself. And I'll never forget, he said, one of the things that makes me so successful, he said, is I say no to 95% of the stuff that gets thrown onto my desk. And this may sound like, what are you talking about, saying no? Well, life and everyone and everything is trying to get a piece of your time. They're trying to get a piece of your time. Marketers, advertisers, they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to, when they get your attention, even if it's just for a few moments, that's your time. Every email that comes in, mail, everyone and everything is trying to steal your time. And so you got to get really good at saying no to all the many distractions that come up in life, because most people, they don't calendar in everything in their life. They calendar in maybe when they're going to work, and that's it. And then they're just like a stick floating down the river, just in reaction to life. Whatever, all of a sudden they're going about their day, but they get this email that's really not that urgent and could be dealt with later, maybe on the weekend when they got some free time, but they drop everything, they respond to this email or whatever, they read it, and they spend 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes over the day add up. And this also has to do with social media. All of a sudden you make a post, someone leaves a comment on there, maybe it tickles your feathers, triggers you a little bit. Next thing you know, you're in reaction mode. You feel you got to respond to them right now. Next thing you know, you're going back and forth in a debate or whatever. You've wasted 10-15 minutes in this meaningless conversation on Facebook that is eating into productivity in your time that you could be productive with. And that may sound like, a couple minutes here and there. That adds up. I guarantee you, the number one thing that I hear as an excuse as a coach when I'm working with people is time. I don't got the time. But I guarantee, take anyone's schedule that complains about this, and I can look at their day 15 minutes by 15 minutes, and I can easily find an extra, oh my gosh, getting rained on here right in the middle of this. That just came up out of nowhere. Florida's got bipolar weather. Let me go into this thing here. That was crazy. But I can easily find, by taking a look at someone's schedule, I can easily see in their schedule and probably find a couple extra hours in every single day when they thought they had no more time. Instead of saying yes to working on your business, instead of saying no to the distractions of life, for example, meaningless TV, video games, distraction, your friends texting you, calling you, you should be saying no to that, so that way you can say yes to working on your dreams and your vision and your business. Because every time you say yes to something, like a distraction, someone texting you, meaningless conversation, not saying you can never respond to them, but an email, a piece of mail that comes in, whatever, every time you say yes to one of those distractions, you're saying no to something else. And a lot of times it's no to time that you could be spending on your business, your dreams, your visions, your future. So you got to understand that every time you're saying yes to one thing, you're also saying no to something else. And if you have big goals, dreams, visions, then you got to get really good at saying no to all the many distractions that life is going to throw at you. Everyone and everything is trying to get a piece of your time. Get really good at saying no to like 95% of the crap that life gets thrown at you. It also could be no or not right now, meaning, hey, you'll deal with it later. Someone texts you, doesn't mean you can never text them back, but, not right now. You're focused, and that's how I am. I'm focused on my mission, my calendar. I take my calendaring very seriously, and I say no to 95% of the crap that tries to distract me from following through on my mission. I'm going through with my appointments and my scheduled events. I say no to all those, so that way I can say yes to staying on my mission. Because like I was saying, every time that you say yes to these distractions, you're saying no to something else. So start to value your time, calendar in your time, get good at saying no, so that way you can stay focused and say yes to working on your dreams, your vision, your business, your goals. Another example, I've never been on a podcast before. I've had a lot of people who have asked me to do interview podcast. Hey, can I interview for my podcast? Can I interview for my YouTube channel? And I have never done that before. And I've had people for years have been asking me to do that. And the reason why is because my time is limited. Hold on one second. Speaking of distractions, hey, family comes first though. But what I was saying, I've never been on one of those podcasts or interview type things because I know my time is valuable and limited. And if I'm going to say yes to doing one of those types of things, then I'm going to have to say no to work appointments, making money, and the other things that I want to get done. Not saying that I never will do one of those interviews or type things like that, but I'm just so laser focused on my main priorities that I've just gotten really good at saying no to all the many distractions of life, so that way I can stay focused. And because of it, that is how I'm able to effectively grow and manage multiple businesses and have everything else going on in my life without falling apart, because I'm really good at saying no to the many distractions of life so that I can stay focused on my mission and saying yes to staying focused on the mission and getting done what is truly important to me, to my goals and objectives, not just trying to grow everybody else's, their podcasts and visions and things like that. And everybody, the marketers, advertisers, everybody, they have their own missions, which I get that and I respect that. But you gotta stay, keep your objectives and everything as the priority. All right, guys. So calendar your time. Take that seriously. I recommend daily, weekly reviews, monthly reviews, and then get really good at saying no to the many distractions of life, so that you can say yes to staying focused.